Have you seen my pudsy? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I know, I look terrifying. Also, usually I wear pud's ears, but I don't know where they are, so we're gonna go with this. And today, we're gonna do a really colourful, nice spring look. And we'll turn this into something like that. So if you're interested in that, then please keep on watching and let's go. I always like to start with my eyes, especially when I do a nice colourful look. And we're gonna dive back into this Sleek Snapshots palette. And I've done a look with this recently, which I will pop in that corner. And that was part of my Use Them Shadows series, and someone there called Maria commented that she would love to see a different minty look with this, as that's what I originally planned and it didn't work out. So Maria, this is for you. No pressure. So first I'm gonna take a flat brush, and while last time I did a halo eye as well, we're gonna do the same this time, but it's a slightly different shape and it's slightly different, but I feel like that's what works best with this, just because there are not many matte shades that work well together, at least not when you're doing a look that requires blues or greens. So we're gonna just, you know, roll with it. Do I need to zoom in closer? Maybe, hold on. Is that better? I think so. So we're gonna start with a flat brush like this, and I'm gonna go into that lovely minty color, and I'm gonna pat it both in the inner and the outer corner. And just like last time, I'm gonna first pat it on roughly, and I will keep my eyes open and bring it higher up as well, just so I will still be able to see the color once my eyes are open. As you can see, I have fairly hooded eyes, so if you struggle with the same problem that, you know, you have a lovely eye makeup and then you open your eyes and you see nothing, just keep them open when you are shaping it out, and it does help a lot. And I would say this color is lovely, but it will, you know, it will take quite a bit to build it up, so don't be frustrated, it's fine. And I will take a clean brush. This is the Blank Canvas E42. This one is just one from my makeup school, but it's just a flat packing brush. And then this one is the Blank Canvas one, and without any additional product on it first. Hello camera. That's my face, thank you. So without any additional product first, I'm just gonna start blending it, especially the edges. And as you can see, last time I did a more smoked out version. This one is a bit more rounded. So I'm just gonna hold the brush quite far down and use those well-known windscreen wiper motions. That was really hard to say for some reason. And just make sure I feather it out first, and then you can always go back in later and build it up. As you can see, it blends quite nicely, but also it really fades out. So it will take a few turns to go back and forth, and I will keep making sure while I'm building up this look that even after we've done everything else, I will come back to it, because unfortunately it needs it. It's a beautiful color, but it's a bit of a pain to use. To be fair, pastel shades often are. Okay, at this stage I'm gonna take the brush and now dip it in that shade. Tap it off and just lightly go over it once again. And again, I will keep going back and forth doing this throughout doing my eyes, so I would not be worried at this stage too much. Once that's done, I'm gonna take another flat brush. This is just quite a cheap synthetic one from, I think, eBay or Amazon or something. And I'm gonna dip it in this light green shade. And I will use this first to, whoopsie. We'll use this first to build up the color. And just apply it in the middle. And as you can see, I don't bring it all the way up, I just bring it to about where my eye folds. And I really have to dig the brush in, so I'm gonna later go in with my finger as well but I find that it works quite nice to press into the eye first with a brush, even though it's not as intense as it can be, as you see it there, but also I'm going to use a glitter on top, so that will help to make it pop as well. And then I took another little smudger brush. This one is from Eco Tools, and I dipped it then into this shade. I'm sure these have names, but I don't have the foil anymore that says the names, so you know, we're just gonna go with that one. And I just applied it around the edges of this other lighter green, just to give it a bit more extra color, because as you can see, this eye is still quite a bit lighter. It just helps with the tiniest bit of extra color, not much. And then I'm gonna take the blank canvas brush that we used before and blend it together. Then I'm gonna take my finger and go back in the light green shade and just tap a bit more of it in the middle. And it really does help to blend it in. Then I go back in with the blank canvas cosmetics brush and I dip it in the mint shade and just apply a bit in the inner and the outer corner, and then blend out with it again, and I will just keep building it up till the two eyes match. As a next step, I'm gonna reach for some glitter, and this one is from Kryolan, and it's the Polyester Glimmer in the shade Pastel Yellow. And while in there, I know it looks super yellow. I know it looks... oh, I just poured some glitter on my table. Lovely. So while in there, it looks super yellow. In reality, when you put it on, it has some green reflects in there. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it there, probably not. But I only use the tiniest amount, so I have a little bit left in the lid. And because I only use a small amount, I'm not going to use any glitter glue. I'm just literally going to take my finger, swirl it around in the lid so I have enough stuck on my finger. So you see there's just quite a bit stuck on my finger, and hopefully, so you can see, it has a bit of a green reflect to it as well. And I'm gonna even tap my finger off and just press it in the middle. And then for one last time, I take my blank canvas brush and just blend it around and go back in with my finger, pat it on one last time, and I feel like I need a little bit more, so I go back and then blend just on the top. So now all I have left to do is have a little bit of a liner, and as you can see, it's just the smallest one, and I use a technique that I tried in my testing TikTok hacks video, although it's something I implemented in my life before. If you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna link it up in the cards. But also, what I did there is using the Inglot Duraline and mix it with some eyeshadow to make a liner. And I said in that video as well that if you have any other kind of mixing medium, then you can use those as well. So in this one, just to show you that it actually works, I'm going to use the NYX Multitasker mixing medium, and I'm going to mix it with this eyeshadow from the palette. So I'm going to scrape a little bit off with a spatula, but you can use the back of a brush or anything. Add literally the smallest drop of the mixing medium, mix it together with a brush, and I'm going to use a Milani brush. This just came with one of their like pot liners. And I'm gonna draw a tiny flick. Well, flick, there's not even a flick, it's literally just a little bit of a line, so it gives my lashes a bit more oomph if you look at it compared to that side, and also because it's not a matte liner, it gives it a little bit more sparkle as well, which in my books is always a good thing. Okay, so you should get a similar paste to this. I know it's really hard to see because it's reflecting at camera, but just so you know, and then you can go ahead and just do your line as normal. So that's it, that's the liner. Next, I'm just gonna clean up this little bit of glitter fallout. So I'm gonna just take some makeup remover on a cotton pad. Camera, thank you. and I will zoom you out and we will move on to the rest of the makeup. My next step might be slightly controversial, but today I put on a face oil when I was doing my skincare routine this morning. So even though I took off some glitter with the makeup remover, I still feel like my skin has quite a nice slip to it. So today I'm gonna go without primer, which doesn't happen often. I don't do it often, but today is gonna be one of those days. And I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder foundation. I'm gonna give it a good shake, put it a little bit on the back of my hand. I know a lot of people put it straight to their face, but I don't like doing that. That's too much product usually. So I put a bit on the back of my hand, and then I take a flat brush. Again, this is just from eBay or on Amazon, I don't really know. It's just a nice flat brush, and I just take this to work the product first on the back of my hand and then just put it on my face. I don't want a really thick base. To be fair, I never really like that. And just blend it in everywhere. This foundation is nice and light coverage. It's buildable to a certain extent, but not fully. And to be fair, I don't mind when you can see a few like scars. If you really want to, you can go with something that's a higher coverage, but if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that usually I'm just not too bothered. We all have imperfections and, you know, it's okay. Now let's say if I would go for a night out or for an important event, obviously I will make sure that I cover them up, but on an everyday basis, usually I'm not too fussed. Only Human. And now I have that song, Only Human, stuck in my head. I would put it in the video, but YouTube will take it down, so just Google it or YouTube it, or, you know, go on Spotify. Great song. As the next step, I'm gonna go in with concealer, and I'm gonna use this one, which is the Catrice One Drop Coverage Weightless Concealer. And again, I'm gonna put a bit on the back of my hand, just because this comes with a dropper and I'm not gonna drop it straight under my eyes. That would end really badly for me. So I'm gonna put a bit on the back of my hand, then dip my finger in, pull a beautiful face. I swear it helps. And then this sponge would be better wet, but I can't be bothered to wet it, so I'm just gonna use that to pat it under my eye, and trust me, it still works just fine. Now, this is about the same color as my foundation. If you want to go lighter to brighten, go for it. I'm not that fussed about it today. Before I do anything else, as in like setting down my face, I have a few cream products that I want to use, and actually today I'm gonna mainly use cream products. So to give myself a little bit of a color, I'm gonna use the Fenty, what is this called? Fenty Matchstick in the shade Cinnamon. And I know that this is a shimmery product. I think this might be a highlighter. I don't actually know. Are these highlighters? Are these bronzers? I don't know. And I want to do mainly a blushy look, but I still like to give myself a little bit of, you know, color. And this gives a nice glow as well, so I'm not going to use a separate highlighter today, just glowy products. So I'm going to put it where I would put my bronzer, then there. Now, I don't really have a problem with the size of my forehead, so I'm not putting it in there to contour it. I just put it there to give it a bit of color, because if I have a bit of bronziness on my cheek and nothing on my forehead, I look really silly. So I'm going to put a little bit here. A bit there. I like a little bit on the bridge of my nose, and I think that's it for today. To blend it in, I'm gonna take a clean brush, and again, this is just from Amazon, I think, or eBay, but you can see that this one has a slanted sort of shape, so this will be really nice to blend this in. And I do a mix of like stippling and slightly pulling motions. Okay, I keep forgetting that this dries quite quickly, so maybe next time I can just do one side at a time. Maybe go back in with a little sponge and just blend over it. A little bit more. There we go. Okay, next time, note to self, I either have to warm it up on the back of my hand or just do one side at a time, but I think warming it up on the back of my hand might be the best option. Before I apply my blush, I'm gonna start working on my eyebrows because for me that's quite a long process. So first I'm gonna go in with the Wet n Well Mega Clear Mascara, and this is just a clear eyebrow gel. As you can see, I don't have a lot left in mine, but I'm just gonna take a smallest amount, pull some off on the side of this, and brush my brow hairs into place. And while I do the rest of my complexion or my eyes, this can just dry to make sure that my brows don't move. Like so. While I wait for those to dry, I'm also going to pop on some lip balm. This is just the Body Shop Watermelon, I think. Yeah, Watermelon Born Lippy. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I just feel like my lips are a little bit dry. As I mentioned earlier, I want it to be quite a nice blushy look. I just feel like going for, you know, some sort of 80s look, I guess, with all these colors. I'm gonna have a bright lip as well. So we're gonna use the MUA Luxe blush, I don't know, it's a cream blush. Oh, hold on the front it says Whipped Velvet Blush. I don't know if they still do these. If they do, pick one up because the formula on this is amazing. And this one is in the shade Chi Chi. I know it doesn't look like I used it a lot, but actually I have. Usually there are two types of brush I use with these. They are always dual fiber, and this one is a bit more dense. This one is a bit more flimsy. Today I'm gonna use the one that's a bit more dense. So this is the Look Good Feel Better brush, and it's just called the finishing brush. So I'm gonna dip it in there. Then I'm gonna just dip, you know, do that on the back of my hand so I can stipple some off, so it's not gonna be too strong, because if it is, it's hard to clean it up. And I'm gonna start going in, adding some color first, focusing on the apples, and then blending it towards the temple. Again, if I'm going for the 80s look, I might as well just do that. And I like to use circular motions, but just really lightly. And then at the end, what I do is I take my foundation brush and just go along the edges to make sure that it's not blotchy, but it still gives a nice color, and you see it has a nice sheen to it. And I'm not sure how much is coming through on camera. Looking in the viewfinder, not too much, but in real life it gives more than enough glow and more than enough color. And I'm working with natural light lately. I'm trying to make sure, since it's a bit lighter, that I use as much natural light as I can, so it gives you a proper idea in the camera. Because sometimes if I put my ring light on, it can wash colors out. And even now it does happen sometimes with the window, but you can see it's a really nice natural glow. And it's enough color. At the end, once I have my lipstick on, I might go back in, but for now, this is more than enough to look nice. So I'm gonna repeat the same on the other side. Now to control a little bit of the shine on my face, I'm gonna use the Essence All About Matte Powder, as you can see. I do like mine. And I'm gonna take... what am I gonna take? I'm gonna take this brush from Real Techniques and just lightly use it, mainly in the middle of my forehead, between my brows, where I tend to get quite oily. And a little bit down my nose, around my smile lines, and a little bit on my chin. And because I only use the smallest amount, you can still see I still have a little bit of a glow to my skin, but it's not as much as it was, and it will help me control my oil when it will start coming through throughout the day. I had to change the camera because the batteries were dying, and also I zoomed in a little bit because next we're going to do under eyes and brows, so it's just a bit nicer that you're closer. To fill in and slightly shape my brows, I'm going to go in with the number 7 Beautiful Eyebrow Sculpting Pencil. And it's actually really similar to my Charlotte Tilbury one. It has a spoolie on one end and the pencil on the other end, and the shape of the pencil is the same as well. Color-wise, I don't think they are the same. This is black and that one is more brown, but you know, it's quite good. They just don't have as big of a color selection to start with. and I will try to keep my brows fairly natural. I'm trying to play a bit more with them lately. And that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. Again, nice and natural, so I'm gonna match up the other eye. And then, because this eyebrow pencil is a bit more black rather than brown, I'm gonna go in with another eyebrow gel, which might seem high maintenance, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do when it comes to brows, and I definitely am struggling with my brows most of the time, so I'm trying to make sure lately that I put in the time and go through the process because it makes them look better. So I'm gonna go in with the Essence Make Me Brow, and this is in the shade Brownie Browns. Yes. So I'm gonna just take this, and I lately try to start in the middle of my brow, just in case I have too much eyebrow gel, then it, you know, it's easier to disguise there. And then go through the front, and this gives them just a bit more color, and if any hair removes, then this will make sure to, you know, comb them in place again. And I'm not sure if you can see the difference in camera, but in real life I definitely see that it adds it a little bit more structure, but they still don't look like I overdone them. It just looks like I have naturally filled in brows. I mean, I don't have too bad brows, but it's more the shape that I struggle with, to make sure that they are as symmetrical as I possibly can make them, but they are not fully there, but you know, we all do what we can. So now we can move on to eyes. First, I'm gonna go in with an eyeliner, and this is from Kiko, and this is the Intense Color Long Lasting Eyeliner in the shade 11. And it's just a really nice sort of emerald green, and I'm gonna tightline with this both on my upper and on my lower waterline. I mean, it's such a beautiful color, and you can see it instantly gives more definition to my eyes. Especially since I'm not someone who uses false eyelashes, these tricks definitely help. And if you're like me and just noticed now that you forgot to set your under eyes, you can do it now. I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna use a Blank Canvas Cosmetics F28 brush and the same powder, because otherwise my under eyes can crease. Next, I'm gonna take a teeny tiny pencil brush. This is the Zoeva 240 Luxe Petite pencil, and I'm gonna dip it in the mint green shade from the palette, tap it off, and then just blend it on the lower lash line. And it's just gonna, you know, make that pencil a bit smokier as well, which is always nice. Just like so, nothing, you know, overly complicated. It's not really my style, really complicated, is it? I love this eyeliner, it's just so nice. But now we're gonna move on, and we're gonna apply some mascara, and I still have this little deluxe sample from the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Volume 2. So I'm gonna use about two coatings of this to give nice volume to my lashes and make sure that they frame my eyes nicely. Oh, I have a lash on top of my eyelid. Hold on, I hope I can just brush it away. Let's see. Ah, perfect. Got worried there for a second. I always have this one lash in here, I'm not sure you can see, that just goes rogue and does a crisscross, and it's a bit longer than the rest of my lashes, and I just don't know what to do with it. I don't really want to cut it, that sounds stupid, but I might have to. It's really annoying. Don't freak out. That's a bit better. And I quite like it because even though my eyes are open, because I opened that little bit of a glittery, well not glittery, but shimmery liner, it sort of peeks through a little bit. I really like how that looks. And now we're gonna move on to lips. So I thought, when I think of spring, I like colors, and even though there's colors on my eyes, I want colors on my lips too. So today, even though this was not an 80s tutorial, in true 80s style, we're gonna go for a bold lip. And this is the Essence Stay Lip Liner. Apparently it's waterproof. and it's in the shade Stay Vogue. Okay, let's go in Vogue. And I'm gonna line my lips with this. It's really nice and creamy, but it's a bit darker than what I thought it's gonna be. Okay, never mind. It's gonna blend together with our lipstick. So it's not really a lipstick, it's quite old as well. Do they still do these? I don't know. I haven't bought anything from Revlon since they're not cruelty free, but this is one of their lip butters in the shade Sorbet. Remember when these were huge? I do. Oh my god, I remember when I first got my hand on these and I was so happy. And I'm gonna just take a lip brush and make sure that I blend it nicely together with the liner, since the liner is quite a bit darker. And I don't want too much to be on my lips, so I'm gonna take a cotton pad and just bite on it. But then I'm gonna go back in with one more layer. This will help for it to, again, with the blending, but also it will make sure that it stays on longer. And I always have this one point in my lip where there's just extra pigmentation, so I'm just gonna clean it up with this a little bit. All we have left to do is use a setting spray. This one is from Catrice and it's the long-lasting Prime and Fine Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. Quite a long name. Take some paper, because I have no fan, and just dry it. And this is the finished look. So it's really nice and bright, and as you can see, even though we used no highlighter whatsoever, it's still nice and glowy, and I quite like it. Is it for everyone? Probably not, but you know, while you're at home, if you want to experiment with colourful makeup, why not? This is the time. One, it's just makeup, so if you don't like it, you can always wash it off. And two, who's gonna see it? We're all at home, so you know. If you want to experiment with new styles, this is the time. But for now, that's it from me. I'm gonna go. Please let me know in the comments below what you think of this look. Again, it's the Sleek Snapshots palette. It's just something different from last time's look. And it's fun, it's colourful, it's really springtime for me at least anyway, and that's what I wanted. So if you like it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments below what you think of this look, if you would wear it or if you, I don't know, tried it before. If you want to see more looks with this palette, I can probably come up with something else as well. If you like this channel as well, please make sure that you subscribe and press the bell button. It would mean so much to me. But for now, I'm gonna go. I hope you have a lovely day and bye bye.